Welcome. The Collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love. What we ask of you is to sit and listen. Listen to the frequency, listen to the vibration. It is these vibrations and frequencies that you seek, and it is the information that you will hear, and this is your connection to the all. The time is now. The time is now to be in connection. To connect with, to converse with, to align with all fellow humans. The time is now to be present with other humans. It is to have conversations. It is to open channels of communication. It is to express yourself to others. There's been too much separation. Yes, you can look back over time and see the pattern of separations in humanity and what occurs. You're seeing it in the chaos. You're seeing it in the circumstances around the world. This is separation. Many are feeling the call to speak. Many are feeling the call to converse. Many are feeling the call to draw close to another human, but don't understand how. Yes, you'll converse and communicate with those of like mind. That is not what this is. This is to have communication with all humans, not just those that equally think the way you do. For it has been brought forward numerous times about this energy you carry and how it is to change consciousness. Yes, it does. The energy does. But the other part of that equation is your physicality. It is your physicality to be introduced to other physical beings so that you can communicate. It does not mean you have to dive deeply into your belief systems right at the first conversation. But it is to interact with a beautiful smile, a thank you, you're welcome. Begin a conversation gently and express the heartfelt feelings. Now, this will be difficult for some because of belief systems. Belief systems are a human construct. Dissolve the belief systems. Understand that all humans are conscious beings. They all exist within a conscious framework. They are divine beings. There is no separation. But the time is now. And yes, it may sound critical. It is. For this path of ascension that you are on is critical. The path of ascension is where you are headed, but you understand too that that timeline can be a bit fragile. This isn't a warning. This isn't directing a warning to any humans upon this planet, but it is to make you aware that the further you separate from one another, that does protract the line that ascension is on. Yes, communication is taking place, but it isn't the communication that is connecting humans. It isn't a connection point of just being separate in your own belief systems. This is difficult to understand for many. It is time to dissolve belief systems, to understand the purity in each human as they exist, no matter the circumstances, no matter the role they are portraying in their lifetime. For the role they portray in their lifetime is that the one that they choose in their contract, no different than the one that you have chosen to portray. So it is to find the difference, yes, but it is to come to an equalization in that difference and sense into the divine that is, that does exist in each human being. But the more separation there is, yes, the further that timeline for ascension will extend. It is still on path, but it is to understand there is more separation now within humanity than there has been. And yes, you can look at it as a critical moment, but it is to understand it is changing from within to the exterior, changing from within to see someone that has difference other than yours and welcome them in. It doesn't mean you have to agree, but it is to see them for their divine, the purity of who they are. See, many believe there is pure and there is evil. There's pure and there is unpure. There's light and there's dark. These are constructs. These are belief systems. These are self-imposed belief systems within the human thought process. If you were to see into the purity of another soul, into another being, you would see it's just as pure as yours, no matter their station, no matter their belief, no matter their actions. They're portraying a role. So it is to open yourself. Begin with yourself and to open yourself to receive. To receive that divine expression of someone else and then return it. It is time to have communication. And in that communication, you're going to find an equalization taking place. A divine force will begin to connect all humanity. This is the unifying aspect of openness, not separation. That is what all humans are seeking, is openness and connection, not division. But if you're waiting for someone to start the path, you'll be waiting. Be the first to start the path, and you'll see it unfold in front of you. So if you have questions, please begin.
Thank you for your presence and for that beautiful reminder. We're curious, when Will was upstairs here getting ready to prepare the room, the light in the hallway clicked off by itself. Who was it that was playing with the light, please?
For the energy that was present, that was, yes, as you say, playing with the light, this was William's grandmother, present to just say thank you for all that has taken place. And it is the recognition of what as relationship they had. It was more than just the grandmother-grandson relationship.
Beautiful. We thank her for that. Lauren G. wonders how she can use her unique gifts to serve humanity, please.
The simplest is by sharing. How do you use the gifts? This is for all humans. All humans are imbued with gifts, whether you sense them or not. But once you begin to sense them, it is to begin to share them with others. The more you share, the more you strengthen, the more you become part of your gift. The more there are opportunities for you to receive back. Now, This receiving back may not be through monetary means, but you'll be gifted back by others' gifts. You'll begin to start this process. It is similar of the opening message of communication and connection. How do you share one's gifts? One's gifts is just purely your presence. Your divine presence with another human, sharing that experience, sharing those words, sharing the energy gifts that you have. That's where you begin. Where it grows from there, that is for your contract. For there are many decision points along this path that are going to show you that the gifts can be used in many different manners, be strengthened in a way in which they begin to provide for you. But to start this journey, it is to share. This is the human experience. Don't hide them, share them.
Wonderful, thank you for that. Kathy's cat Ellie hasn't been doing very well. She's howling when she has to go to the bathroom. Kathy's wondering if Ellie is nearing her transition point, and what does Kathy need to know about that, particularly as it relates to her move in the spring?
For us to understand, once in relationship with an animal, a pet, the ultimate agreement that has been made between human and pet, human and animal, is that the human is the ultimate caregiver. The human is the one that they fully entrust with all decisions. Now, as far as health, yes, there are some health concerns. There is, within the digestive and urinary system, there are some health-related aspects that could be addressed. But it is also understanding that your cat relies upon you. Yes, it could be that moment. There isn't a clear point that can be delineated of when transition is going to be. But this is an agreement between you and your cat, where the cat will speak to you and say, I trust in all that you do. My full trust is in your hands. If you wish to assist, then assist. If not, then I will live my life to the point at which I transition. It may seem as if I am in great pain, but that is the physical response. Energetically, I've disconnected from that energy, and I am in not any energetic pain. So, yes, these decisions can be difficult. These decisions for any pet owner can be very difficult of assisting with transition. But you know the relationship that you've had, and you also know that even beyond transition, your cat will still be with you. That energy will always be with you. Once you align yourself with any animal as a pet and you are in its care, you remain connected to it even beyond transition. So that animal will be with you. So it's understanding the bond. The physical is just the physical. It is the uniting of your energies that will remain. As far as the move itself is, yes, can be looked at in many different ways, but it is understanding that whether you move with or without, the energy is still going to be with you. So the choice is yours. There isn't a, even your cat will provide you a very similar answer. It is your choice to assist or allow it a natural process. And even at that, There may be a point that you have to assist because it is too overwhelming for you. There are a number of different factors. So allow yourself to have the communication with your cat as you have, but allow it to be more of a deeper conversation, and you will begin to sense how this process is to move forward.
Beautiful, thank you for that. It was asked, how can the collective teachings from you all help humanity evolve at this time, and what role do beings like you play in Earth's current ascension or consciousness shift?
For it doesn't matter the channeler. The stream of consciousness that is connected into is, yes, divided up into different beings or groupings of beings. How do these teachings assist humanity? For it is opening a perspective vision within someone. It is opening a perspective awareness in someone. It is changing thought patterns over time. The channel that is brought through, no matter who it might be, does not change the perspective. It is the human that changes the perspective based upon what they feel. Meaning, the energy, this is why the opening of every channeling from the collective is listen to the frequency and the vibration, because that is where the true messages lie. And that is how any channeler should be heard, is through the vibration of what you sense. If you're listening to a channeler and it does not resonate with you, then you can continue to listen, but it isn't having the impact that you are seeking, that your divine is seeking. So find another until that vibrational point within is resonating. And you may find that that resonates for a period of time and you move on to another. This is your divine aspect seeking that information. Yes, your ears process the words that are heard, but it is your pure divine that is associated with the message. This is why it is said, if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, move on. So, and even within the length of a channeling, not every message that is brought through will resonate appropriately. How does it help humanity? It is finding the appropriate frequency to lock into for the greatest good of your own divine. And for the path of ascension, yes, this is equalizing the unified field to support humanity along the path of ascension. But it is also to understand you have two parts to this equation. You have your divine soul, your divine, your energy, and your physicality, your humanness. And this is why the message at the beginning was so important. The separation in humanity is gaining strength, more so than it ever has in the past. It has closed the gap. By resonating in the frequency of the messages, this is how you resonate in the frequency of someone else. And it isn't to see them in their physicality, it is to see them in their divine. And this will bring the connections back together. It won't be 100%, but it'll be much better than it is. And this will close the gap that is in place now, and draw ascension even quicker upon many on this planet. So it is a very fluid and dynamic understanding of how the ascension path can expand or contract. It's all supported by the unified field. That unified field is supported by individual consciousness. And that individual consciousness remains at the highest potential by the frequencies that are brought through the channelers, through the messages.
Good to know, thank you for that. So Tessa has had a friend of 20 years who hasn't really been much of a friend to her. She seems to take more than give. But now this friend has been diagnosed with cancer, and Tessa wonders what her role might be with her through this.
For this understanding of giving and taking, let's set aside the understanding of friendship. Again, friendship is you can think of it as a bit of a construct for humanity to understand relationships. It's a label that is placed upon a human-to-human relationship, one that is not romantic. So, setting aside a friendship, but understanding two divine souls that have come into a lifetime, that have agreed to interact with one another in their own contracts. What is it that you've learned for yourself in the actions of this individual? You have grown substantially because of what you've witnessed in this individual, and that is the truest lesson to be understood. But now, how do you support this individual? You set aside all of the human actions and you understand each other from that divine soul connection. You see the purity of that individual. You support them on this journey. You provide them the energy that they seek. You hold them close in your own energy. Yes, it may feel as if they're still taking, but this is the human thought process overlaying on what is happening in the energetic. If you take your humanness out of the equation, and now all you're left with are two divine energies, souls next to each other, one in distress and one that isn't. The one that is in distress is seeking something, to be calm, to be relaxed, to be fulfilled, to be loved. So you are there to provide that in your energy, and you provide it as you do. You remain in connection, supporting as you can, growing in that strength. And what you're going to learn for yourself is a depth of your own energy and how it processes with others. So, yes, this is for her, but it is just as much for you and your growth and your understanding as a divine being.
Wonderful, thank you for that. Margie H. says, when asking how to orient her attention on her upcoming trip, you told her to set aside all she knows about herself and just be open to the experience. She believes that during that trip she made contact with water beings, and she's also feeling called to explore shamanic studies. Can you provide any advice on how best to integrate those connections that she made, whether they were physical, energetic, or dimensional, into her spiritual development? And do you have any recommendation on which school of shamanism would be beneficial for her?
For it is to start with the water beings. How to best connect, integrate, and process the information, the knowledge, the truth within what they wish to provide to you. For water upon this planet, it is everywhere. It has been here from the beginning. It holds all of the knowledge. So, on your next glass of water, sit, hold that water, hold intention into that water to draw those water beings to you, to open a pathway of introduction into the water that you are about to take in, and allow that water to be a stream of knowledge as you consume it. For each sip of that water contains more information than this galaxy can hold. And yes, that is overwhelming. But it is that understanding that each drip of water that you consume, you bathe in it, you swim in it, you walk in it, it rains on you. It has been here from the beginning, and it is that they wish to show you, the knowledge that is held within it, and the healing that is contained within it. You understand this at a very great level, but not to the level that these water beings can show you. Many of them are going to enjoy this experience, for they will be there in the water as you are consuming it. Don't be afraid, you're not going to consume one of the water beings. They are present with you to show you the power that is within the water. Allow them to show you. Call them in. Set the intention. Infuse that water so it is yours, and all water that you have experience with. As far as the shaman practices, where do you begin? There are many different schools, yes. For your greatest growth, this will take you on a journey. Now, you don't have to make this journey right from the beginning. But the indigenous tribes of the Peruvian, say the Peruvian highlands, are going to be the most beneficial for you. Now, why is this? For they hold a practice that is, you could say, an origin practice. Some of the very first shamans upon this planet, the ones that knew how to draw the energies of both sky and earth, is to pull that all together. They are the greatest of teachers. So it is understanding this. Now, this will take you on some journeys, but start with your own exploration, your own introduction. There will be two individuals that are going to cross your path in the near future, that are going to open pathways to take you on a journey to these regions. So that is where to begin, and from there it will only unfold great for you.
Take her on a literal physical journey there?
A physical journey, yes.
Amazing, thank you. Samantha's son Brody was very outgoing before he went into first or second grade, and then all of a sudden it was like a light went out and he switched into being a shy, introverted kid. Samantha's wondering, was there a shift in his consciousness, a walk-in, or can you explain what happened?
For yes, from the outside observer, you will say that this was a night, day experience, a switch of sorts. But this was a calculated approach to one's existence. Now, did the human Brody understand this? No. Did the conscious Brody understand this? Yes. The consciousness of Brody understood this from the beginning, from the birth point to this, understanding it in this manner. For the energy that Brody has lived many lifetimes. But within each lifetime, it is to, say, test the system, meaning live the life to a certain point, understanding the impact that humans are having, and then choosing to either go inward or the opposite express outward in a very great manner in this lifetime. Now, the human Brody is living life just as the human Brody should. But the consciousness of Brody already began to understand the path that humanity was on and shifted to the inward reflection. Yes, you think of it as being introverted. This is a very calculated thought process. This isn't reverting inward to hide from anything. This is going inward to be reflective, to be, one would understand it as a bit of a mastery of their existence, being very contemplative of everything that is taking place in their life, so that they can live as best as they can within the chaos that there is. So, don't look at it as being introverted. Look at it as being introspective, but at a much deeper soul level. There are many lifetimes that are being contemplated. Even though the human Brody may not fully understand this, the soul of Brody is. And this is how it is to be lived. It does not mean that it will be for the entirety of the life, but it is for this point now, for this deep introspective point of one's soul, not their physicality.
Excellent, good to know, thank you. Someone asked, how can humans better align with the galactic community?
For there are many different methods, if you wish to call them that. Yes, you can look skyward, you can call out, you can do many different techniques. It really is to understand that of yourself. For the DNA that you hold within yourself is made up of just that, your galactic ancestry. It is knowing that the DNA that you hold within you is the purest DNA of any being that there is within your universe. You hold the purest strands of DNA, and they hold galactic connections. Each one of them assigned, each one of the 12 that you have, but only 2 that are active. You have them all in you. So it is to begin to sense that in yourself, to know that of yourself. And when you come to the realization that you are a galactic being, and yes, that may go against your belief systems, it may go against your teachings, but you are. You're made up of all of what has existed before humans. That's where it begins. Recognition in self. And when you recognize it in self, then you can set intentions to connect to any of them that you wish. Sensing them vibrationally. Yes, many want to see them standing before you, but that in itself is going to be quite difficult. Many humans are not ready for that physicality to be placed before them. So it is to understand the energy that they hold. Each one of them a different energy signature, how it vibrates to you, how it provides you downloads, how it even makes the hair stand up on your arms. When you think of that galactic alignment or that galactic being, whatever that might be, that's the resonant field that they have for you. You have to understand the energetic forces that are around them. This isn't just for galactic connections. You are a human being, yes, but you're an energetic being, primarily. You are an antenna to everything that exists outside of your physicality. All that is unseen around you is continually trying to communicate with you, but you ignore it. As you drive down your highways and your streets, and something may be sensed by you. Your hairs may raise on your arm, you may get a ringing in your ear, you may get a slight eye twitch. Your thoughts go somewhere else. just for a fraction. That is interacting with the energy fields around you, all that is unseen, the entire energetic world that is around you. But it is recognizing that, acknowledging that. When you acknowledge that, that opens the doorways for greater connections and knowing that you are more than just this physical being here on this planet. And you have access to it all. But the more you ignore, the more it will continue to try to connect with you. And it will frustrate you. So, as it has been said to many, surrender just a bit to it. Ask it a question. Communicate to it. Build relationship with it. Play with it. Play with the energy that is all around you, and you will find a whole nother world that is trying to communicate to you.
Fantastic, thank you. Samantha C. says that regionals are coming up in about 10 days and it's a huge event. Do you have any words of advice or encouragement for her, please?
For what you are seeking is a strength that is beyond your own physicality. The strength that only resides within your own thoughts. And those thoughts can overpower anything that you have. So, as you find yourself in this experience, and allow it to be an experience, take your mind out of it as being a competition. Take your mind out of it as being something that is a challenge, but use it as an experience. And when you set yourself aside into an experience, then you can power through anything because what you have within you is stronger than your physicality. Your energy, your thoughts, your existence is stronger than your physicality. And that, combined with your physicality, will endure through anything.
Wonderful, thank you. Evan is on his way to Antarctica, and it's interesting that there are so many people that are fascinated and drawn to that continent and the energy of that place. How does the energy interact with the people that end up journeying to that area?
For it is only a slight few that journey to the area that are open to receive. For many that travel to that area, to that region of your planet, they are, as you would say, deeply within their head. They are more analytical than most, so they are not open to reception. But what must be understood is, yes, the energy fields that are in place there are at times unmistakable. So for those that already sense, they will feel a shift. They will feel a presence that is there, unlike any other place. This does not mean that it aligns to some mysterious force. It just means that that region of your planet holds many unknowns. That region of your planet was much more prosperous in the earliest stages of this planet than it is today. And that still exists there. So what is being sensed is what remains there. Think of it as an echo of all of that energy. Those that are sensing it, because they can, will receive information. But those that are in their head will just sense something that they have no idea what is taking place.
I see, thank you. Julie H. wonders how she can be the most productive and effective in creating, launching, and running her humanitarian project. She seems to be struggling to prioritize her tasks, including that of her own well-being.
The first, it is to, segment your own well-being first. For if you are to help humanity, you have to help self first. So, Use it in reverse. Yes, you have this project that you wish to push forward. Set it aside as far as you can without distancing yourself from it. And allow the reflection to be back fully on self. Organizing all of that for yourself. Take the time for yourself to prioritize your own existence. From the moment you wake to the moment that you sleep, and even in the hours in between, what are you doing with it? How is it best serving you? You don't have to have a list of 100 things. Start with 3 and allow yourself to grow from that point. But it is, if you cannot work on the priority of self first, then any organization that you try to push forward for humanity will be very difficult to prioritize for them. The business will be the business. The organization will be the organization. The best example is how you find it for yourself. How you breathe through it for yourself. And in that gives you the clarity, because when it comes to self, that gives the intuitive actions of self the time and the place to expand, which then can be processed in the business, in the organization, for the greatest good of humanity. If it's the other way around, you're too focused on the organization, you don't find moments of inspiration and intuition to grow. It has to start here first. Everything else, once it is here with self, the universe will help you align it for the organization.
Thank you for that. So you mentioned to us a few days ago that October was going to be filled with quite a few waves of energy, strong waves of energy. And so someone asked how we can best prepare ourselves to fully receive this information and the codes and the upgrades in consciousness that are being offered to humankind at this time.
Finding yourself in connection with Mother Earth, that is a primary. But in doing so, it isn't just spending time on Mother Earth, bare feet, in connection with all of the trees and grass and flowers. But as you do, just as it was expressed how important water is, it is to consume water that has been intentionally set for you. Why? For the energies that are coming through now, yes, are very piercing energies. The more water you absorb, the more water you take in, the more that your body is filled with water, hydrated, the lesser effect the piercing energies will have. They still will have an effect, but it won't deplete the body because the water will absorb that energy. And just in its process of absorbing those energies, it will be eliminated from the body just as needed. So your body will naturally take care of discharging that energy through elimination. Also, through the grounding on Mother Earth, that will help absorb much of that energy as well. And only what is needed will be left behind and utilized. So, finding yourself, grounding, connecting, even in communication with Mother Earth, and the use of water to hydrate, maybe more than you have in the past, so that you are filled with those, with the energy of water to absorb those energies that are coming in. This will help this time in this month of the energy that is being processed.
Very helpful, thank you. Elaine noticed that there were hands on her shoulder in the night, helping her to recover. Who was it that was assisting her?
Archangel Raphael was present in that experience. There were a number of your ancestors, in particular, a great-grandmother and a great aunt were present as well, for they were all laying hands, drawing in the ancestral energy of healing to quicken the healing process. Raphael was there to support those energies as well, to provide continuing healing energy into this region of the body.
Fantastic, thank you. Before we close, are there any final remarks from the collective, please?
For as you go beyond this place, as you go into this month to come, be in connection. Allow yourself to look at every human as you look at yourself. Every human. There's no need to separate even in the looking. It is to find yourself looking from your heart, not your eyes. And know what you're looking at is a divine being. A divine being that is playing a particular role. But it is to bridge the gap of that human observation and connect it heart to heart. And if you have a chance to have a conversation, a connection, then do so. But have more connections throughout this month. And what you're going to find, even if you start just with 1 a day or 2 a day, by the end of the month, you're going to have a number of very interesting conversations with humans, with divine souls. It is going to open you and enlighten you. And it is going to, for some, want you to move forward with even more conversations. An interest in humanity. This is the true nature of why all humans are here. They're here to be in connection with one another, not separation. So allow yourself this time throughout this month to be in connection and not separation.
Outstanding. Thank you so very much for your presence today.
Thank you. And as always, the collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love.